All right, so get this. We're going to do a deep dive today, and it's into the world of global shipping.
Okay.
We've got the latest financial report from Mitsui O.S.K. Lines.
MOL.
Better known as MOL. You got it?
Yeah.
It's for the third quarter of the fiscal year ending March 2025.
All right.
Now, I know what you're thinking.
What am I thinking?
Financial reports.
Yeah.
Not the most exciting thing in the world.
Well, a little dry.
But trust me on this one.
Okay.
This one's got a lot of juicy details.
Oh, really?
It's a lot more than just MOL's bottom line.
I see.
So it's in Japanese originally, but
oh, wow.
we got to translate it for you.
Okay, thanks.
So that's a plus.
Yeah. What's interesting here is this report gives us a glimpse into the current state of global trade,
Oh, wow.
economic trends, and even a touch of geopolitics.
Wow. So we're really covering it all today.
Yeah, it's all connected.
All right. So let's break it down. The first thing that jumps out at me is MOL's profits are down this quarter compared to the same time last year.
Yeah, that's not a huge surprise, though, is it?
No, not really.
Right.
With the current global economic slowdown.
Right. It's like decreased consumer demand.
Yeah, less demand, fewer goods shipped.
Exactly. And that hits the shipping industry right in the revenue.
And this is something we're seeing across the board.
Across the board, this isn't just MOL.
Right. It's a sign of the times, you know?
Yeah.
So,
more of a trend than MOL doing anything wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the report breaks down all these different segments.
Yeah.
And it seems like their dry bulk segment, the one that ships raw materials like iron ore and coal, that took the biggest hit this quarter.
It did. And the iron ore shipments, those are down quite a bit.
Is that connected to the slowdown in construction in China?
That's what the report's saying.
So a construction slump in China means fewer ships carrying iron ore across the ocean.
Exactly.
Wow, that's wild.
And it all goes back to that economic slowdown.
Yeah.
There are some concerns about oversupply in the Chinese real estate market.
That's not good.
Not so good, no.
So that's the not so good news?
Right.
But there's got to be some bright spots.
There are always bright spots.
I noticed their energy transport sector, particularly LNG shipping,
LNG?
seems to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, that one's doing pretty well. And I think that's largely geopolitical with what's going on with the energy crisis,
Okay.
especially in Europe.
Right.
Countries are scrambling. They need alternative energy sources. That means more demand for LNG imports.
Which is good for MOL.
Great for companies like MOL
Yeah.
that have a strong foothold in that market.
It's amazing how a conflict on one side of the world can actually boost demand for a specific type of ship on the other side.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
It really shows how interconnected everything is.
Very interconnected.
Now let's shift gears to container ships.
Okay, container ships.
So massive vessels that carry all the things we buy.
Everything we love.
It's no surprise that this segment is facing some rough waters.
Yeah,
Consumer spending's down. Fewer goods are being shipped.
makes sense.
But they're selling off some of their older container ships.
Right?
Is that a sign of panic?
No, I don't think so. I think it's more strategic.
Okay.
They're anticipating a glut in the container ship market. By selling off these older vessels, they're trying to avoid future losses.
So they're slimming down to stay agile.
Exactly.
Smart. What about their car carrier segment?
Car carrier segment.
That one seems to be facing its own set of challenges.
Yeah, disruptions in the global automobile supply chain.
Right. The semiconductor shortage.
The semiconductor shortage.
Yeah.
That's still having a ripple effect. Car production is down.
Less demand for car carriers.
Exactly.
It's mind-blowing how something as tiny as a semiconductor can create massive waves in the shipping industry.
Absolutely.
Makes you realize how fragile global supply chains can be.
Definitely highlights the interconnectedness
Yeah.
of global systems.
Before we get too lost in the weeds here,
Okay.
I wanted to touch on one more thing.
Sure.
The report mentions MOL's sustainability efforts,
Okay.
specifically their investment in a new LNG-fueled vessel.
Interesting.
Is that just for good PR?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Environmental sustainability is a major factor in the shipping industry now. Consumers are demanding it, and there are stricter emission regulations coming.
So they're getting ahead of the curve?
Yeah, they're positioning themselves as leaders
Okay.
in this space.
Smart.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk numbers for a second.
Okay, numbers.
The report mentions that MOL's total assets exceed 2 trillion yen.
Wow.
That's,
2 trillion.
yeah, a lot of zeros.
Can you even fathom that amount?
No, I can't put that into perspective for me.
Okay, so that's roughly the GDP of a small country.
Wow, really?
These figures highlight the sheer scale of MOL's operations.
Okay.
And the significant role they play in the global economy.
Wow, that's a lot to process.
It is a lot.
But before we move on, I'm curious about the people behind all this.
The human element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the people who keep these ships moving and global trade flowing?
Right behind those numbers are thousands of seafarers, engineers, port workers, all these people whose work we don't always see.
Right.
But they are so essential to our way of life.
It's a good reminder that these huge ships and global trade routes are ultimately about connecting people and products across the world.
Absolutely connecting the world.
So getting back to MOL specifically, the report dives into some pretty specific events that are impacting their business.
Oh, okay. Like what?
Can you walk us through those?
Sure. One of the key events that they highlight is the situation in the Panama Canal.
Oh, the Panama Canal.
You know, the water levels have been a bit lower than usual.
Really?
And that's led to some restrictions on the size and weight of ships.
Seriously, the Panama Canal is a major artery for global trade.
Huge artery.
Especially for goods moving between Asia and the Americas.
Right.
So what kind of impact are these restrictions having?
Well, ships that exceed a certain draft, you know, the depth that ship sinks into the water, they're either having to lighten their load or take longer routes.
And that's costing companies like MOL more money.
Significantly more, yeah.
So a drought in Panama can throw a wrench into global shipping routes.
It can.
And increase costs for everyone.
It's all connected.
Wow. It's like a delicate balancing act.
It is a delicate balancing act.
With so many factors at play.
So many factors.
What other events did MOL highlight?
Well, they also mentioned the conflict in Ukraine.
Right.
Which continues to disrupt those shipping routes in the Black Sea, impacting the flow of grain and other commodities.
We hear about the human toll of the conflict, but it's easy to forget about these economic consequences.
Right, and it's not just Ukraine. The ripples go far beyond.
Yeah, disruptions to grain shipments can impact food prices globally.
Absolutely.
Wow. So it really does drive home the interconnectedness of our world.
It does.
And speaking of interconnectedness, MOL also discussed the growing trend of nearshoring.
Nearshoring.
Are you familiar with that?
I am, are you?
I've heard of it, but I'm not sure I fully grasp it.
So basically, it's the practice of moving production closer to the intended markets.
Okay.
Companies are looking to diversify their supply chains, reduce reliance on distant suppliers, you know, especially after all the disruptions we've seen lately.
So instead of, let's say, manufacturing goods in Asia and shipping them all the way across the globe, they might choose to produce those goods closer to their customers in Europe or North America.
Exactly. And this shift towards nearshoring has the potential to really shake things up in the shipping industry.
I can see that.
You know, decreased demand for long-haul shipping routes.
Yeah.
Increased demand for shorter regional routes.
It's fascinating how these trends are reshaping the entire landscape of global trade.
It's like a constant chess match.
It is.
Companies and countries adapting their strategies to a constantly changing board.
Speaking of adapting, the report also mentions some of MOL's strategic initiatives.
Okay. Like what?
Like investing in digitalization and automation to improve efficiency.
Yeah, they're really embracing technology.
What does that look like in practice?
Well, they're using data analytics to optimize shipping routes.
Okay.
Track cargo in real time. Even predict potential disruptions.
Wow.
They're also experimenting with autonomous ships.
Oh, wow.
Which could revolutionize the industry.
Wow. So they're using technology to stay ahead of the curve.
Trying to.
Are they doing anything else to adapt and evolve beyond traditional shipping?
Yeah, they're diversifying their portfolio.
Okay.
The report mentions their expansion into areas like offshore wind energy logistics.
Wow.
Providing specialized services for transporting and installing massive wind farm components.
Okay.
They're also developing these integrated logistics solutions tailored to specific industries.
So they're becoming more than just a shipping company.
Right.
Evolving into a comprehensive logistics provider. That's pretty impressive.
It is.
Their financial report really does give us a unique window into the complexities of the global shipping industry.
It does.
And how companies like MOL are navigating these uncertain times.
Yes, it's a fascinating look.
And it shows that even something as seemingly dry as a financial report can be packed with fascinating insights into the forces shaping our world.
Absolutely.
But let's dive deeper into one specific example MOL highlighted.
Okay.
Their efforts to expand their presence in the offshore wind energy sector.
Right.
Why is that such a strategic move for them?
I think it aligns perfectly with the global push for renewable energy.
Okay.
Countries around the world are investing heavily in offshore wind farms.
Right.
And MOL is strategically positioning themselves to become a key player in that, in transporting and installing those massive components.
So it's like a whole new frontier is opening up for them.
A whole new world.
From transporting oil and gas to supporting the development of clean energy sources. Okay. It's a smart move, especially considering the increasing focus on sustainability and the need to transition away from fossil fuels.
Absolutely.
But while some sectors seem to be booming for MOL, others are facing headwinds.
Right.
Like the car carrier sector we talked about.
Yeah, the car carrier segment has been hit hard by those disruptions in the global automobile supply chain.
Right.
The report specifically points to the ongoing semiconductor shortage, which is still impacting car production and the demand for car carriers.
So even though some areas are doing well, others are struggling.
Right.
The shipping industry is a complex ecosystem.
It is.
With different segments responding to a variety of global forces.
Definitely.
It's a constant balancing act for MOL and other shipping companies.
For sure.
As they adjust their strategies based on the performance of different segments and the overall economic climate.
Absolutely.
It's like they're constantly juggling, trying to keep all the balls in the air.
So many balls in the air.
But shifting gears a bit, the report also talks about MOL's efforts to optimize their fleet composition.
Fleet composition.
What does that involve?
So it's an ongoing process of evaluating the age and efficiency of their ships.
Okay.
And making strategic decisions about which vessels to keep, upgrade, or sell. They're trying to ensure they have a modern, fuel-efficient fleet that can meet market demands and comply with those increasingly stringent environmental regulations.
So it's not just about having ships, it's about having the right ships for the job.
Exactly, the right ships for the right job.
They're very strategic about their fleet composition.
They are.
Taking into account things like ship size, fuel efficiency, cargo capacity.
Right.
And their suitability for different routes and types of cargo.
It's like assembling a specialized toolkit.
It is.
With each ship designed for a specific task or challenge.
Now, amidst all these operational details, the report also emphasizes the importance of MOL's workforce.
The people.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So they highlight their commitment to training and developing their employees, making sure they have the skills and expertise to navigate this complex industry.
Right.
In a highly specialized field like shipping. Having a skilled and dedicated workforce is paramount.
Yeah, it makes sense. They're recognizing that their employees are their most valuable asset.
Absolutely.
And they're investing in their well-being and professional development.
They are.
And speaking of navigating complexity.
Yes.
There's a fascinating section in the report dedicated to MOL's risk management strategies.
Risk management, that's key.
What stood out to you in that section?
Well, it really highlighted that risk is just an inherent part of the shipping industry.
I can imagine.
Natural disasters, geopolitical tensions, piracy, economic fluctuations.
Wow.
It's a lot.
It sounds like a pretty high-stakes game.
It is high stakes.
So the report outlines MOL's comprehensive approach to managing these risks.
Right. They have these sophisticated systems in place to monitor global events, assess potential threats, and develop mitigation strategies.
So it's about anticipating the unexpected and having a plan in place to minimize disruptions.
Being proactive.
Right.
It's about proactive risk management.
So that's things like diversifying shipping routes.
Yeah.
Having contingency plans for potential disruptions in ports or shipping lanes.
Exactly.
It sounds like they're playing chess against a very unpredictable opponent.
Very unpredictable.
Always thinking several moves ahead.
Several moves ahead.
But speaking of strategic thinking,
yes,
MOL also emphasizes their commitment to innovation in their report.
Innovation.
What kind of innovations are they pursuing?
Well, they're investing heavily in research and development. Exploring new technologies that could transform the industry.
Like what?
They seem particularly interested in alternative fuels and propulsion systems to reduce their environmental footprint.
Okay.
They're exploring options like hydrogen, ammonia, even wind-assisted propulsion.
So they're not just adapting to the present. They're actively shaping the future of shipping.
Shaping the future.
That's right. It's clear that MOL isn't content with simply riding the waves of change.
No.
They're paddling hard to stay ahead of the current and chart their own course.
Definitely.
Their commitment to sustainability, innovation, and risk management is impressive.
It is impressive.
Especially for a company of their size.
Yeah, it really is.
It's almost as if they're saying, we're not just going to weather this storm. we're going to learn to surf it.
They're learning to surf.
And that, I believe, is the key takeaway for our listeners.
I think so.
This deep dive into MOL's financial report has revealed so much more than just numbers and financial performance.
So much more.
It's given us a glimpse into the intricate workings of the global shipping industry.
The inner workings.
The challenges it faces.
Yeah.
And the remarkable adaptability and innovation that companies like MOL are demonstrating to navigate these turbulent waters.
That's right.
You summed it up beautifully.
Thanks.
It's a powerful reminder that even in the face of uncertainty and disruption, there are always opportunities for growth and progress.
There are.
And sometimes the most unexpected places, like a financial report, can offer the most profound insights.
They can.
We'll be back after a short break to continue our deep dive into MOL's financial report.
Sounds good. Yeah, it really is remarkable how just one financial report can open up this whole world of a global industry.
I know, right? It's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
Yeah.
You get more and more complexity with each layer.
It's true, but let's not get too teary-eyed.
No tears. Let's keep digging into those details.
Okay.
From the report.
Yeah.
I was particularly intrigued by MOL's move into the world of offshore wind energy.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
It seems like such a bold move for a traditional shipping company.
It is bold, but I think it really shows their foresight.
Mm-hmm.
They're aligning themselves with the global push for renewable energy.
Okay.
As countries invest more and more in offshore wind farms, the demand for these specialized vessels, the ones that can transport and install those massive wind turbine components, it's skyrocketing.
So they're not just riding the green energy wave.
No, they want to be a major player.
They want to be right in the thick of it.
Right, in the action.
But the report also highlights some of those challenges they're facing.
Okay.
Particularly in their car carrier segment.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah?
The car carrier segment is still dealing with the effects of that global semiconductor shortage.
Right.
It's still disrupting car production worldwide.
And lower car production means less demand for car carriers.
Sadly, yes.
It's a reminder that even with all their strategic maneuvering, they're still vulnerable to these global forces.
Yeah, sometimes those things are just out of your control.
Exactly.
It shows how delicate that balance is that they have to maintain as they navigate these waters.
It's unpredictable out there.
Yeah, it is, but it's not all bad news.
Okay.
Remember that decision to sell off some of their older container ships?
Right.
That was a smart move.
Yeah.
That plays directly into their strategy of optimizing their fleet composition.
It's like they're constantly evaluating their toolbox.
Exactly.
Making sure they have the right tools for the job.
The right tool for the right job.
What exactly does optimizing their fleet involve?
So it's this ongoing evaluation of the age efficiency and suitability of their ships for different tasks and routes.
Mm-hmm.
They have to factor in things like ship size, fuel efficiency, cargo capacity.
Wow. Sounds complex.
It is. It's complex. They even have to make sure they comply with all those environmental regulations.
Yeah, those are getting stricter and stricter.
They are.
So it's not just about having a bunch of ships. It's about having the right mix of ships.
Exactly. The right mix at the right time.
For the right jobs.
Yes.
They're doing all of this while juggling all these other challenges.
So many challenges.
Like the conflict in Ukraine.
Right. That's still disrupting those Black Sea shipping routes.
Yeah. And the impact on those grain shipments is a major concern.
A major concern. Yeah.
With the knock-on effects for global food prices and the economies.
Absolutely. It's a global issue.
It's not just the Black Sea either.
No.
MOL also mentions the impact of that Panama Canal situation.
Oh, right.
Lower water levels restricting ship sizes, cargo loads.
And that's increasing costs and delays for everyone.
It's amazing how these seemingly unrelated events can converge and create these ripple effects.
I know, it's like a giant interconnected web.
It really is.
It is.
But amidst all these challenges, MOL is making some big strides in another area.
What's that?
Risk management.
Okay, risk management. That's a big one.
They spend a good chunk of the report talking about their strategies for anticipating and mitigating those disruptions.
Smart. They got to be prepared.
Yeah, given the risks of the shipping industry, it's essential.
It's totally essential. You've got natural disasters, geopolitical instability, piracy, economic fluctuations.
A lot to handle.
A lot to handle.
So what does their risk management plan look like?
Well, they've got these really sophisticated systems to monitor global events.
Okay.
Assess potential threats, and they're constantly evaluating risks and developing mitigation strategies.
So it's like being proactive and adaptable.
Exactly. Having a plan B and C and D.
Having all the backup.
Loaded backups. Yeah.
It's like playing chess against a really unpredictable opponent.
The ultimate chess match.
But they're not just reacting to external threats either.
No, they're not.
They're investing heavily in research and development to drive innovation.
Oh, that's great.
We talked about the alternative fuels.
Uh-huh.
But their commitment to innovation goes even deeper.
Oh, really? Like what?
They're looking into things like artificial intelligence machine learning to optimize their operations, enhance safety measures, and even develop autonomous ships.
Autonomous ships? That's the future.
They're shaping the future of the industry.
It's amazing.
They're not just keeping up with the times.
No.
They're way ahead of the curve.
It's really impressive, especially for a company of their size.
Yeah, that is, they're not just reacting to the challenges.
No, they're not.
They're actively seeking out opportunities to evolve and grow.
That's smart.
It's like they're saying, we're not just going to weather the storm, we're going to learn to surf it.
Ride those waves.
And that's the key takeaway.
It is.
This deep dive into MOL's financial report has been so much more than just numbers.
Yeah.
It's given us a glimpse into this global shipping industry.
Those inner workings.
The challenges it faces and how adaptable and innovative these companies are.
Yeah, they're incredible.
You said it perfectly.
Thanks.
It's a reminder that even in the face of uncertainty and disruption, there are opportunities for growth and progress.
Absolutely.
And those opportunities can come from the most unexpected places.
Yeah.
Like a financial report.
You never know.
It's funny. We started this whole deep dive thinking we'd be, drowning in financial jargon.
Right, all those numbers.
But we found this fascinating story.
I know, it's really cool.
About global interconnectedness, resilience, and human ingenuity.
Yeah. Who knew a financial report could be so interesting?
Right. And we think about financial reports as so dry and impersonal.
Yeah, just numbers on a page.
But this one, it's like a whole picture.
It is.
Of the shipping industry and all the challenges and opportunities they're facing.
And it's an industry that's so important to us.
Yeah, we don't always think about it, though.
No, we don't.
We see those big cargo ships out on the horizon or in documentaries.
Yeah.
But it's all part of this bigger story.
It is.
It's global trade economics, geopolitics, and, just this human desire to connect.
Yeah, connect and exchange all these things across the world.
Exactly. And what's amazing is how MOL, this big company with this long history, they're adapting and evolving.
They are.
With all these global changes.
It's impressive.
They're not just reacting.
No.
They're shaping the future of their industry.
Yeah, through all those investments they're making.
Sustainability, innovation, risk management.
It's smart.
It's like they're saying, we're not just going to ride this wave. We're going to learn to surf it.
Ride those waves.
What does that mean for the average person, though?
That's a good question.
The person who's not, in the shipping industry.
Right. What are those key takeaways?
Yeah, what can we learn from all this?
Well, I think the biggest one is adaptability.
Okay.
And that forward-thinking mindset.
Right. The world's changing so fast.
It is.
Whether it's global trade technology.
Yeah.
Even our personal lives.
We have to adapt.
We do. It's like that saying.
What's that?
The only constant is change.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not just about reacting to change. It's about anticipating it.
Right. Being proactive.
Being proactive and even looking for opportunities.
To learn and grow.
To learn and grow. Yeah. Just like MOL with those investments in new technologies.
And sustainable practices.
Exactly. Another takeaway is this interconnectedness.
Oh, yeah.
Of our world.
Everything's connected.
We see how something in one part of the world, like a conflict, a drought, a new technology.
It can have ripple effects across the globe.
Exactly. It's like that butterfly effect.
I love that analogy.
A small change in one place can have these huge consequences somewhere else.
It's true.
It really highlights how important global awareness is.
And shared responsibility.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
We are.
This deep dive also shows the power of curiosity.
It does.
And looking beyond the surface.
Yeah, we started with this financial report.
Which seemed boring.
Right. But we dug deeper, asked questions, connected the dots.
And we found this amazing story.
We did.
It's a reminder that those unexpected places can hold these valuable insights.
Yeah.
And that the journey of discovery is just as rewarding as the destination.
Well said.
So, to our listener, as you go about your day, think about all those little details around you.
Okay.
The clothes you wear, the food you eat, the technology you use.
It's all connected.
It's all connected to this global network.
It's a massive web.
That's constantly evolving.
You're adapting.
And as you navigate your own world, remember what we learned from MOL.
Okay.
The importance of adaptability. The power of innovation.
Right.
The interconnectedness of everything.
And the human spirit.
Yeah, that human spirit that drives us to connect, explore, and create a better future.
Absolutely.
That's it for this deep dive.
Thanks for listening.
Until next time, stay curious.